Did you see what Colorado did to Oklahoma State? Look, Colorado at 9-3 is only getting into the playoff if they win the Big 12. They need help to get there. Help is often given to those in college football who hold their own. Colorado did more than hold their own in this spot. I'm not wildly impressed with Colorado, but I'm certainly not unimpressed with what they just did. Spencer, they were playing a terrible Oklahoma State team. Didn't you pick them to win and cover? Yes, I did. It was 52-0. 52-0. Colorado outgains Oklahoma State 471-147 in this spot. I don't even know who was playing quarterback for Oklahoma State, to be honest with you. It was not Alan Bowman, and, he's got a ways to go in his development as a college quarterback. But Colorado, to win this game like that, just let me throw this out there. For all of you that are on the tramp, the Buffs are overrated, the Buffs are this, that, and the other thing. How would a good team play this football game? What would it look like to you? Colorado's just, I'm not saying that Colorado should suddenly be an at-large team. But what does a good team do? What does a great team do? I don't know. By the way, this is the same Oklahoma State team that beat Arkansas earlier this year. Not exactly the same. Alan Bowman wasn't at quarterback against the Buffs. I got news for you. That wasn't going to matter. So Colorado makes a statement, gets their mojo back, and they need help in the Big 12. We'll see how that craziness plays out. If Iowa State wins, Iowa State will be in the Big 12 championship game. If Arizona State wins, Arizona State will be in the Big 12 championship game. But then the tiebreakers can trigger into effect if either one of those teams lose. And let's just say it's complex. 6 teams are alive. Six. Kansas State. Remember Kansas State? Still alive for the Big 12 championship. How about that? They're not the only. BYU. Remember undefeated BYU? Still alive for the Big 12 championship. So Colorado does exactly what they need to do. And one conversation that I was picking up on after this game and thought was worthy of discussion on the show, so here it goes. Travis Hunter and the Heisman padding discussion. So he was still into the game with Colorado up 45-0. He ended the game playing, I don't know how many snaps. He had a 23-yard touchdown with 11:05 to go, and Colorado up 45-0. Travis Hunter ended the game with 10 catches for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. His regular season totals, 82 receptions, 1,036 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So he is the overwhelming favorite, betting-wise, to win the Heisman Trophy. Ashton Jeanty went for 226 and a couple touchdowns against Oregon State, and the Broncos punched their ticket to the Mountain West Championship game, maybe even the college football playoff. Here are the dueling factors that are going into this Heisman discussion. Travis Hunter is not the best receiver in the country, nor is he the best corner in the country. However, he is the best two-way player in recent memory. I saw one, and this is why Twitter can be such a great and wonderful place, but also not a repository of intelligent foresight in the college football discussion. There was a tweet going around about why wasn't Miles Jack in the Heisman consideration? Because Miles Jack was not the best running back on his team. He was a good linebacker. He was a solid two-way player. Was not having the sort of season that Travis Hunter is having. What Travis Hunter is doing is not just about a snap count. This is the snapshot, viral social media soundbite that the Ashton Jeanty Heisman crowd would like to send around and have been sending around a lot. Snap count is not a Heisman stat. Well, no, I don't even know what Travis Hunter's snap count is. So the nature of that particular argument comes from it is very easy to spread around, and it clicks in people's minds of like, oh, hey, yeah, it's not a snap count. Well, I don't know how many snaps he played. I don't actually care. I am watching a guy who is, as a matter of fact, as impactful to his team as Ashton Jeanty. Now, if I had a Heisman vote, I would give it to Ashton Jeanty. And Colorado's Travis Hunter would be my number 2. Because I think what Jeanty is doing is more impressive than what Travis Hunter is doing. which is not to say I'm unimpressed with Travis Hunter. Did you hear the part where he would be my number 2 Heisman pick? But to say that Hunter is just playing both ways and not doing anything else, that's oversimplifying the situation. He is wildly impactful to Colorado's ability to be a capable football team. If you look, against Oklahoma State, yeah, it didn't matter a whole heck of a lot. But why don't you go tell me how impactful he is to winning from the Baylor game? Because last time I checked, he didn't catch Hail Mary, but he makes the defensive play at the goal line. His stats in that game, by the way, against Baylor, let me see if I can pull that one up real quick. 7 catches for 130 yards. So 7 catches for 130 yards keeps Baylor out of the end zone in overtime, and they end up winning the game with a game-winning field goal. That feels pretty impactful in the winning department. But on the other side, Ashton Jeanty is doing something we haven't seen since Barry Sanders. He could break Barry Sanders' all-time rushing record. Well, that's because he's playing in more games. Do you know why they're going to play in more games, or why they could play in more games than Barry Sanders did? Because Ashton Jeanty is running football. So you can make this argument either way. I'm not majorly pushing back if Travis Hunter wins the Heisman Trophy. I'd go with Jeanty because I find it to be more impressive what he is doing, the way he is running, and how singularly important he is for Boise State. I think Colorado, this is the crux of my point here. Colorado is better off without Hunter than Boise State is without Ashton Jeanty. Neither team is as good without that guy there, and neither team is a conference championship contender without that player doing what he's been doing all season long. As for the stat padding, I'm completely unsurprised. The Heisman voters are not going to care. Jaden Daniels at LSU last year, they didn't sniff the playoff because they had 3 losses. They were padding Jaden Daniels stats all the time, running it. Guess what? It didn't matter. So you can hate it all you want. It is incredibly good strategy by Colorado. Incredibly good strategy to try to get him the Heisman Trophy. So thoughts on that concluded. And we switch and end this show real quick with Mike Gundy. So he goes 3-9. This is the worst season in history of Oklahoma State. And what he has done is reset his evaluation. There is a new starting point with how to look at Mike Gundy as Oklahoma State's head football coach. And it starts right now. No, he should not be on the hot seat. He should not be fired. There are good coaches that have bad seasons. Kyle Whittingham just went 5-7, tied for the worst record since they joined a Power 4 conference back in 2011. Those sorts of things happen. Yes, it spiraled out of control. You know why? Because the Big 12 is a good league and it's really deep. It is really, really deep. We've seen that all season long. So they had a lot of things spiral. They didn't get the quarterback position right, and it just got away from Oklahoma State this year. You should not judge Mike Gundy on this particular season. Say, oh man, got to fire Gundy, got to do this. No, you don't just get to ignore the past 20 years or however many seasons he has been there. What you do is start a new evaluation point. Before it was, well, here's all of this. Okay, you collapse down. Well, what do you do after that? That's what matters now. This guy's got way too much equity in the program, and he has earned it, by the way, to be someone you say, up one bad season, you're done. He doesn't have a short leash. He's got the longest possible leash. So you're going to give him another year to figure it out. Heck, you might even give him 2. If after the next 2 years, there are not results indicating he can get the program back to where he had it for a long time, then you can make a change. But after one bad season, you don't move on. You do not say, oh, let's cut the cord. No, that's a knee-jerk reaction to what was a really bad season in Stillwater. One, I don't expect to be repeated as long as Mike Gundy is the head coach. But if it is, then you can move to the next step. But this is the first data point. How do they respond? Baylor fans were ready to kick Dave Aranda to the curb. They gave him another year, and boom. Dave Aranda's having a pretty good year. Going for win number 8 tomorrow. Did you see that one coming? Did you see that? People often want the coach fired. Billy Napier at Florida, the same thing. So I think that Mike Gundy had the worst season of his coaching career. That doesn't mean it defines what he now is as a coach. It means he had the worst season of his career. How does he respond from that? That's what I want to see. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.